Okay, so this, this is what we are wanting to try and create. It's just a pretty simple spatula, you know, real nice, easy. So our first step is going to be drawing it out on the block. You want the face and the side all done up for you. The two tools that we are using is a bandsaw and a belt sander. So currently I am doing what is called relief cuts. So if you're going to be doing a curve, you want to do cuts right up to the line because that's going to relieve some stress on the blade from the part actually squeezing back. It can cause kickback. So now that I have this side cut out, I want to cut out the side profile just before I do this line. I want to get rid of the side so that I actually know what the side profile is, not wasting my time having to redraw it, basically. And that is kickback. That is why you are needing to constantly think about where your fingers are. If I had my thumb here, when it would have gone, it probably would have cut. But since I'm here, staying clear of the blade, I don't know what it hit. Maybe just a patch of harder wood or something. But there is, if I can find it, and I tried my best to straighten it out. I wonder if I did. But there was, right here, a bend in the blade. I should probably replace the blade, and I was thinking about it anyways, but I'm gonna just take it real slow and finish up this project. I don't have too much more cutting, but I am not a fan of getting wet, and it's raining outside. So I'm gonna wait till it stops raining before I go get a new blade. because I think this is the original one that came with it, and this is like $100 bandsaw. It's pretty underpowered, and the blade sucks. So I'm hoping that a new blade, honestly, I might go for like a $50 or $100 blade. You know, I can reuse it on the next bandsaw, but I'm going to see how well that does. I think I'm going to take this line up a bit, just to make it more ergonomic as a spatula. But you can see I cut that piece off. And if I didn't do the side profile, it's not bad, but I think I am going to exaggerate it a little bit. And the lines that you draw are really just a guideline. You don't need to follow it. Just kind of see what your heart feels like. I think I like that. That's a nice little blank. And thinking about it a bit longer, I think my blade has gotten dull. And it hit a rough patch, or a patch that was particularly more dense, and that's what caused it to kick back. Keep your tools sharp. And you're going to want to get comfortable, because you're going to be here for a little bit. So this is my lowest grit. I believe it's a 60 or an 80. And this is where I'm going to be there we go. Sorry, I had an ND filter on. Let's see how this will go. And I did leave it pretty rough, so I gave myself a bit of gap because this sandpaper is going to take off a lot. And remember that once you take it off, you can't really put it back. So just take it slow, kind of creep up on your edges, and if it is a little bit funky, it's a handmade spoon. I think it adds to it. So right here is going to be where most of the tension comes. This is kind of like a flathead screwdriver, you know. You're not supposed to use it to pry, but everybody does anyways. I saw this thing that said, nothing built too strong ever broke. So I'm leaving this part a little bit thicker, just because it's going to give it more meat so it doesn't actually break. You could taper it down, and I mean, I have a store-bought spatula, just from the dollar store, and you can see it's very, very thin. And they've probably done testing. I'm a millwright, not an engineer. But, yeah. That, garbage. This one, you're not gonna be able to snap that. We like it beefier here. I'm going to take this as a moment, because I typically forget. Go ahead and text that person back that you were supposed to text. It's been a while, hasn't it? If I just reminded you to text someone, and you actually needed to, you have to like and subscribe. I don't make the rules. With this machine, it's better to kind of hold your part more loosely, because if it catches, it's just going to go that way. This will give you a pretty good friction burn pretty quickly. I'm going to demonstrate what happens when you just kind of let go. That's all that happened. not scary. If you're trying to get a radius like this, you can always just do this, and it just copies that radius. But if you want to extend it a little bit, try putting it on an angle, as that radius is going to be greater than just this radius. There's more surface area, and it just adds a little bit of detail. If everything just has this radius, it's going to look a little repetitive. So give it a little bit of a twist, you know? I probably could have thinned this section out a little bit better on the bandsaw, but with the bandsaw acting the way it is, it wouldn't save me too much time. So I'm just gonna sand this part thinner. You don't want it to be too thin, but I would say I like that line, but I think we're actually gonna push it a little bit in more and kind of do right there. And then where this back part connects, we're gonna get thicker and kind of go along with the curve. Here, I kind of want to bring it in a little bit, right to there. And that's just going to help it flow and kind of add a little bit of elegance to this, because it's, you know, it's not much, and you only have, you know, this much space to do it. So what you've seen me doing there is just using a standard eraser, and it helps get rid of all the gunk on here. As you can see, it's turning back to the original color of red. It's just a nice little tool I use. Just buy them at the dollar store. I'm pretty sure you can get big erasers, but I don't really know where to get those from. I think that I kind of like it. And now, there are lots of different ways to seal it, but I think I'm just going to use some sort of butcher block. I have 2 spatulas, a comb that I made for my wife. This is the first time that I used my Dremel for engraving. And then there's just a wood filler right there. Then I'm working on this little book holder. It looks like a cat, so the page goes like this, and it's just easier to hold it. I don't know, I had some extra mahogany. I made a butter knife, and I have some tongs that are, all this stuff is ready to be sealed, and typically I like to do it in one big go. I I'm waiting because I have this dough hook and a sort of spoon that I also have to do. So I want to finish this stuff before I do it because I like to use a brush and I don't want the brush to go bad. So I try and finish everything in big sets, big bulks.